How many of you disliked school? I would guess a lot of people, myself included. School often consisted of a heavy workload that caused a lot of stress and late nights, even an occasional all-nighter. Worst of all, it seemed like there was no break in sight. One would end up counting the days until the school year finally ended to give them some hope that this could not last forever. Finally, the last bell rings, and the students rejoice as their summer vacation begins. However, after their 2-month-long break is over, many students return to find that they do not even remember what they learned the last year. The solution to this problem might be found where one wouldn't expect it to be. The problems of the story could be solved by changing our school calendars from the format we use now, in which a school year typically ranges from Labor Day to Memorial Day, to a school calendar where the school year spans throughout the entire year. Not many of you probably think that this is unimportant now that we have graduated. Even though many of us have graduated in high school and would therefore no longer be affected by the change directly, it is still a very important part of our past, and a change would affect the school lives of our future children. I grew up the son of a teacher, so I would constantly hear different arguments as to why one type of school year is better than the other. I eventually knew the pros and cons of each one. After considering the many arguments I heard, I determined that the year-round school year is ultimately better than the traditional school year that we use now. I aim to show you the problems presented by the traditional school year, what the cause of the traditional school year is, and how the year-round school year would solve these problems. Before I discuss why the year-round school year would be better, I will first explain what is wrong with the traditional school year. What is so bad about the traditional school year we use now? The main complaint that can be made about it is that it is ultimately hindering students' educational development. This occurs because many students forget some of what they learned over their long summer break. A study from Alexander, Entwistle, and Olson in 2007 showed the learning gap between low-income students and other students occurs due to summer learning loss. Since the students have forgotten the material, the teachers must plan to review material from last year at the beginning of the next year. These reviews can often take as long as a month, meaning that the teachers had to waste an entire month reteaching old material instead of learning something new. Another factor that helps contribute to the lengthy review time is the fact that the students must readjust to a school environment and make themselves mentally able to learn. Since their break is so long, this process can take a while. Due to the time lost, the teachers have to fit in material that they have to teach into less time, causing a heavier workload for the students. The students who now have to bear this workload can very often experience stress. Helping increase the stress these students receive is the lack of break they receive during the year. Since they got so much time off in the summer, there is very little time to afford students and teachers breaks during the school year. The reason that we use the traditional school year today has evolved from its original purpose. The traditional school year was created to accommodate the American public at the time of its creation. However, the America back then was very different from the America that we see today. At the time the traditional school year was incepted, America in general was a nation of farmers. Very often the children of these farmers were needed more at the family farm during the summer than at a schoolhouse, as the family needed help with the harvest. Rather than have a large amount of students miss class in the summer, the schools gave kids a break in the summer so that they could help their families. The nation has changed, however. While many of the kids that used to be farmers' children in the past, today very few fall into this category. With improved farming technology and machinery, even less of the kids that are farmers' children are needed during the summer. Therefore, the traditional school year's purpose no longer needs to be served, as the original purpose is all but obsolete. With this in mind, we can now see how the year-round school year can fix the problems mentioned earlier. The year-round school year presents solutions that one would not expect to find. Earlier I mentioned how students are not receiving breaks when they really need them, since they have such a long summer break. In the year-round system, the students and teachers get a break at regular intervals that usually last about 3 weeks. These breaks usually coincide with the school's grading period, allowing students to relax before the next grading period and giving teachers plenty of time to finish their work and prepare for the next grading period. Since the students are receiving these incremental breaks, it can help to decrease the stress they would feel normally. I also mentioned how students often forget material over a 2-month break, causing the teachers to have to spend a significant amount of time reviewing. With the shorter breaks the year-round school year provides, students will forget much less. This will greatly decrease the time spent reviewing, which means that the teachers have more time to teach new material. With more time, there is a lighter workload for the students since the teacher has more time to do everything now. The lighter workload will also help decrease the student stress. These are just a few things the year-round school year would fix. The year-round school year would be a better alternative to the traditional school year we use now. The traditional school year wastes time that must be used reviewing material forgotten over the summer. The lost time now creates a heavier workload for the students, causing more stress. The cause for the traditional school year has become nearly obsolete due to the changing landscape of America. However, the year-round school year can solve these problems by providing breaks when they are needed most, which in turn decreases the stress on students. While I'm sure the concept of having school year-round is scary to some, I hope this speech has helped you see how beneficial it can be. Thank you.